So it's either all relationships or it's most relationships. But there are so many dynamics where the person, and it just happens naturally, when you hang out with somebody, you're going to take on the qualities and some of the attributes that they have as a person. But it's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for them. Especially when there isn't enough healing going on in the relationship or individually or growth, vice versa. We always take on the personality of the spouse, right? They're going to be like, oh my gosh, you remind me so much of your partner. Is that a good thing? If it's not a good thing, then maybe you should try to focus on more individual aspects of your personality instead of incorporating the things that you don't want in your personality. It's so many times in our relationships because of the way that we learn to love and the way that we learn to express ourselves and to attach to a group to make ourselves feel safe, secure, and loved. We take on those aspects that we think are the best in the person. If I think my partner is really good at social interactions, I'm probably going to gravitate to this person because I want the social interactions for myself. In fact, usually when you look for a partner or when you see someone that's a potential spouse, a potential partner, you think of the things, you don't think of the things, but subconsciously you see the things that you want for yourself. If I see my partner as really confident and secure and happy, and I'm not those things, I'm most likely going to find them very attractive because those are the qualities that I want for myself. So I'm like, come here, come into my world, because I want that. I want that person. I want those things in me. And maybe by me staying with this person or being closer or interacting more or just hanging out more with this person, I will eventually acquire those traits and qualities for myself, which is great. But not everything that you have, let's say the person is confident, happy, and secure, but they're very toxic, manipulative, and defensive. You have to be able to sift through the information that you're receiving, sift through the things that you're trying to incorporate, and know that one single statement can mean two good things, but one bad thing. And it's up to you to decide how to incorporate the two good things without incorporating the one bad thing, even though it's the one quote. Same quote, but you need to be able to separate the information. It's important. It's important to not take on your partner's persona or their personality, because the reason you got into a relationship wasn't because you guys were alike. It was because you guys were individuals and separate from each other. One person is this and the other person is that, and if both people are this, it probably won't work out in the relationship because they're gonna be like, ugh, you've changed, or you're different, or you're the same, you're just like me, or you're defensive just like me, and I can't take a mirror to myself. I can't be with someone who's exactly like me. And that's okay. It's okay for you to be yourself. It's okay to be somebody as an individual, as a singular person, to have your own ideas, to have your own activities that are separate from the relationship or from the connection or for the friendship. It's not a bad thing to be your own person and to do things by yourself. If that's scary for you, that's something that you need to understand and deal with on your own. And it comes with a lot of work. But it won't come from somebody else. So yeah, in relationships, we tend to take a lot of priority into appeasing the other person and being something that we're not, either by taking on their qualities or mimicking and mirroring that person in order to make them feel like we are pleasing or not pleasing. To make them feel more safe with us. I forget what it's called. It's a specific term in some kind of subject, but it's where you act more like the person that you're trying to involve yourself with, so you have a high succession of being with that person. And that's not good. That's actually very unhealthy. And yes, it might get you the goal of that person, but what if that person was never good for you in the first place? Or what if that person was never meant to be with you, and then after like a year or 2 years into a relationship, all of a sudden your real personality comes out and you break up? Or vice versa, not vice versa, but or the other option is that you are more pleasing or what's that word? People pleasing? I guess that's a good expression to use. Or you're more people pleasing or more approachable or susceptible to being in a success rate with this person. But now, because of the way that you've acted previously and now that you're actually together, you don't feel safe or comfortable or even secure or safe. And actually you fear or dread being your real authentic self because you never were your real authentic self. And all of a sudden you have to work with what you have now. And it's like, well, I can't be my real self in this relationship even long term because that's not who I was. That's not who I presented myself as. And it just takes just a little bit of authenticity, a little bit of putting boundaries, of being yourself, being your authentic self, being the real person that is you. If, let's say, the person that you want to try to get with, if they never changed for the rest of their life, if you met them from day one and they never changed until year 12 or until infinity, until they die, until you die, would you be okay with that? And vice versa. If you were acting the way you were on day one and never changed until infinity or until death, would you be okay with that? I know you're going to say no. And why? Because there's so many barriers that we put on ourselves in order to make us seem like we're better than we actually are, right? To make us seem like we have more etiquette, or to make us seem like we're more presentable, or more than we're not. Oh, you like movies? I love movies. Oh my gosh, what's your favorite movie? That's my favorite movie too, my guy. But you've never seen the movie before. Sorry, you've never seen the movie before. And what does that do? That creates a false relationship. Not only just with romantic, but with friendships. You know, I remember when I was younger, I forget the exact word, but it was some kind of San Francisco rapper, Uzi, or like, not Uzi, but like with a B, like Boozy, or something like that. And this person that I was in the same room with, let's say I was in a group home, and I was sharing a living space with this person in the same bedroom as another guy. And he's like, oh, you like, I forget his name, but you like Boozy? You like Boozy? I'm like, bro, I love Boozy. He's my favorite rapper. Matter of fact, what's your favorite rapper? Yo, that's my favorite rapper too. And we created a connection, but I was never able to be my authentic. I was never able to be my authentic self. I was never able to be the real me that I was always wanting to be. So I always had to put a persona up, and I even matched their specific methods of communicating, like with slang and such, or their ideology, like, oh, I love Boozy too, even though I didn't even know who Boozy was. And when I listened to the rap music, I was like, this sucks. Me personally, I didn't like it. Me personally. Also because I'm from the South Coast. I don't know, South. I'm more down south. So that's not my type of music, nor is the type of taste of the society around me, of the environment. And it's really important because when you don't do these things, when you mimic the personality of your partner, or when you start to be something that you're really not, all you're doing is creating problems for yourself in the future. All you're doing is creating an issue where you're digging a deeper hole of your fake authenticity, of your fake self. And then you're expected to get out of the hole that you dug after so long that you can't. Like, there's no possible way that you could be the real you. Another great example is, I was in the group home, same group home, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was the male lead. In today's generation or wording, you would say, I guess, alpha. But not like alpha, but like I was like the top boss. You know, people looked up to me, people talked to me, people gravitated toward me. I had my own social group that, you know, And why? Because I presented myself to be cooler than I already was. And this is where it hurt me. Not hurt me, but this is when I realized I wasn't being my authentic self. I would act all cool, all nonchalant, and you know how cool kids are, in the back of the class and stuff like that. And I would be all tough, and I'd talk big game, and if it ever came down to it back then, I wouldn't want to be in a fight, but I was always like, yeah, I'll fight. No, I'll fight everybody, anybody, anybody, everybody, anybody. And what did that do? That created a persona of, oh, this guy's tough. Oh, this guy's about his business. Oh, this guy's a real gangster. And yeah, that was the type of imagery that I created, the persona, the personality traits of my environment. And not only, I'm thinking about it now, but I did that for survival, but not only did I do that for survival, I did that for comfortability and to be accepted by my environment. Which was, those kind of people. And everyone loved me. Everyone thought I was the real deal. When in fact, at that time, I'd never gone into a fight or seen real conflict personally. But that's just how I carried myself. And it's a hell of a thing to be able to fake your personality for so long, but that's what I did. And I dug my hole so deep that it came to a point that we were in the cafeteria one time with my social group that I created with my fake persona. That one time I tried to express my authentic self just accidentally, where I was all happy and I was like, yo, da 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 da. And I was being a child, right? Excuse me. And my friend goes to me, he's like, bro, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm straight, I'm good. And I realized that I wasn't able to be my authentic self. I wasn't able to be the person that I always wanted to be. But because of the way I learned how to be, because of the people that I decided to associate with, I couldn't be my authentic self. I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be. And what did that do? Until those relationships ended in my life, I was never able to be the real me with those people. Ever. And what did that do? That hurt me. Because at the time, those were my only friends. So what can you do? What else can you do but fake it until you make it? So it's a hell of a thing. I urge you to try to be your own individual, to try to be the person that you can only be in this world. You shouldn't be taking the personality of your relationships, of your connections, of your family, because at the end of the day, if that's not the authentic you, if that's not the real you, well then it's just going to hurt you in the long run, in the future aspect, when you think about it long term. Or when everything is said and gone and years pass by and you're older and you think back upon those moments and it's like, dang, was I actually happy back then? Or was I faking the happiness that I always wanted? Was I trying to achieve something that was unachievable for me? And that's why it's important to be yourself, to be authentic, to not take on other people's personality and traits. It doesn't matter if you think they're the one. Just be yourself, because if they are the one, then they're going to like the real you. They're going to love the real you. And that's just facts. Maybe because in the future, maybe because in the past, the way that you love or the people that you choose to love and to open yourself up to create connection in relation and romantic settings, they weren't able to treat you the way you were because maybe in some small way, you weren't being your authentic self, or you were taking on the negative traits of the person that you have been in contact with in your previous history or in your life or in your childhood. It all comes down to you being you, and that's important. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe and comment down below. I'd love to hear your comments. My name is Augustin. Thank you so much for being here, and this is just for clarity.